January the 22nd. I guess the Lord had me in the right place, the right time, with the right commitment. I was president of the Selma City Teachers Association. And then we had agreed that, and I persuaded teachers for the first time to engage in a teachers' march. And so we agreed, after they signed their names to a petition, that we were going to march as a teacher group. And so on January 22nd, we met at Clark Elementary School here, which was the school where I attended the first grade through the sixth grade. We met upstairs, and we marched up a file. My partner was my 10th, 11th, and 12th grade science teacher. His name was Mr. A.J. Durgan. He was the incoming president of the Selma City Teachers Association. And we led that march, teachers, for the first time in the United States, coming down the steps of Clark Elementary School, down Lawn Street, down to Alabama Avenue, down to the courthouse. Teachers for the first time. Getting down to the county courthouse, that was standing next to the steps, the superintendent of education, the chairman of the board of education, to persuade me, because I was a teacher, to take the teachers back to the school because we had made a point, and that no longer should we try to pursue that right from that particular point. And I told them we had a right to be at the county courthouse. It was our courthouse. We were not backing down from our right to be there. And I asked the superintendent and the chairman of the board, who signed my check, to step aside. We went up those steps. Jim Clark had his deputies across the door, and he indicated that we were trying to make a mockery out of his courthouse. And we indicated to him that that was our courthouse also. He gave us 1 minute to move off of those steps. At the expiration of that minute, he took the billy club and jabbed us down the steps on the sidewalk. And my partner, Mr. A.J. Durgan, who, as I said, was my teacher, he was not quite used to that stuff like I was. And he asked me on the ground, he said, "What shall we do?" I said, "We are going back." He said, Yeah. And so we went back the second time. We jabbed down the steps after a minute, and he asked me the same question. I gave him the same answer, and he gave me the same response. The third time we went, I really was trying to get all the teachers arrested because teachers were not aware of the tremendous influence. They were the largest black professional group here in Dallas County. And so after going back the third time, he said, "If you don't go up these steps," Jim Clark said, "we're going to arrest you." I said to myself, "Exactly what I want you to do." And so at about 45 seconds before that minute expired, someone on the inside of the courthouse came and pulled him on the inside of the courthouse door and said, I didn't go in there with him, but I can imagine what they told him. "For goodness sake, don't arrest those teachers."
That's right. Welcome to the Lineage Podcast.
Welcome.
Great Thursday here with MJ Reese, Allen Reese Sr. Feel great to be here once again every week. Y'all know how we do it. Y'all already know what time it is. If you do not have the book, you know we always got to do this. Hold on, let me make sure I get it. You don't have this book right here, Selma Self-Sacrifice. Please go get the book. It is a great read. You won't be disappointed. That is the autobiography of Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese. And I must say, let's start out by saying, Foundation, we had a great weekend. We was in Selma for 3-4 days. The whole staff, man. We was in Selma for three days. We fellowship. We did some community work. We had some meetings. We gave out some book bags and some more school supplies.
At Selma High.
Selma High School. And we also did a couple of tours, man. So it was a great, efficient weekend. That's the type of weekend I like. Hope we can have more weekends like that. But yes, if you don't have the book, get the book. Also, speaking of tours, if you haven't booked the FD Reese Historical Tour, you do not want to miss this tour. We are adding, for lack of better words, we're let's just say we're adding to the tour. We're adding to the tour.
Y'all
So
don't miss it.
yeah, you don't want to miss this. We adding to the tour. We're giving you a full scope, and we're giving you the whole story of the Selma movement. We singing a song. We giving you the movement. We taking you to different spots that Frederick D. Reese was very impactful at. We're showing you artifacts. We're telling you stories that you've never heard before. It is a very informative tour, I must say. So if you haven't booked that, matter of fact, Google FD Reese Historical Tour, and you will see a picture like this that comes up. Same picture in my brother's background, and you'll see FD Reese Historical Tour, and you will see. Hold on, let me get this. And at the bottom here, you will see provided by Allen and Marvin Reese. That's us right there. TripAdvisor is one way you can get it, and Viator. So just do that, book a tour, and we'll be there and give you a tour.
I must say we expanding the tour too, man. Sometimes you might see my daddy doing a tour, my Auntie Krista doing a tour. In the future, you're gonna see Auntie Valerie doing a tour.
Yeah.
So you know the whole Reese family gonna, put their work in. So
right.
We in the process of developing that too.
That's
that
right.
the whole family can, give these tours. Since we are expanding.
Right. There you go. And that's the beginning of the expansion. So keep looking out. And we appreciate people that's donating monthly. We really appreciate that. No matter how small, no matter how big, your contributions are going to something great. And as number one on our priority, we like anytime we get to share is to preserve the historical home of the Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese and Aline C. Reese.
Right.
We're preserving the home. And that is the main goal right now. That is what we're working on getting funding. If you know anyone that give us some funding, direct us to the right place. Y'all know how to get in touch with us. You already know. Direct us to the right place or introduce us to the right people. And with you in the room, that's how we're gonna do it. So yeah, am I missing anything? I think I got all of the bills out the way. We're gonna pay those bills. So we appreciate everybody that has been supporting us and been with us and ride with us. Our team is expanding, man. It's great. But y'all already know before we get into it, we got to go with Miss Kimberly Reese, first nurse. Y'all already know what time it is. So
come to do what I say do. I like saying that. She don't like it, but I love saying it.
Do what you say do. So look, y'all already know what time it is. We're gonna leave for 30 seconds. Y'all know when I say 30 seconds is the countdown. Y'all know what time it is. We'll leave 30 seconds and we're gonna come back with first nurse Kimberly Reese. She's gonna give us our health sermon for the week. So we will be right back. Don't go nowhere. What's going on, Kim?
Hey, MJ, you doing
What's
okay?
happening?
Nothing much.
I know you read. I know you got some good for us, and I know you do because I know what we'll be gonna talk about before. So I'm really this one is really interesting. So I'll go ahead and let you go. Yeah.
Well, let me go ahead and get into it. Happy Thankful Thursday, everyone. This is First Nurse Kimberly coming to give you a weekly dose of health information. I don't know if you guys know this, but as of June 21st, 2023, lab-grown meat was approved to be sold in America. So this is the topic of today, lab-grown meat. So lab-grown meat, the U.S. Department of Agriculture granted its first ever approval of cell-cultivated meat produced by two companies. And on the next screens, the two companies are known to be Good Meat and Upside Foods. Both companies grow small amounts of chicken cells in a slab of meat. It's in a cell dish, so hence no animals are slaughtered. On the next screen, the approval comes less than a year after the Food and Drug Administration declared the company's products safe to eat, and it represents a major milestone for cultured meat industry. But it doesn't mean lab-grown meat steaks will be hitting the supermarket shelves tomorrow. For now, both companies have been given the go-ahead to sell strictly chicken products at a select handful of restaurants. They'll need additional approval to market cell cultivated beef, pork, or seafood. So why do these two companies feel the need to make lab grown meat? The first fact, around 90% of the US population eat meat, so on a regular basis, which means massive livestock operation can also breed grounds for harmful antibiotic resistant bacteria and infection. Secondly, the animals themselves often live relatively short lives. They're confined to cramped cages and they stand in their own filth. And coming up, I have a video that is an example of that.
Don't give yourself to.
Okay, so as you guys saw, that there was an abscess on the cow's left hind leg, and it was full of pus and infection. It looked like. So as you saw the caregiver went ahead and lanced the abscess and to give the cow relief. So that's an example of the infection and the different filth that the animals can live in, and that's where your meat come from. So on the next screen, so I'm going to go ahead and flip on the other hand. On the other hand, this information is coming from the New York Post, produced by Mary Ann Martinez. There is a nutritionist that slams the new grown meat. She said that she'd rather eat her own shoe. So it's a controversy of meat coming from farm and lab grown meat. So it's two sides that people are going against, or they're going against each other. So this is the nutritionist that says this. Her name is, she's a food and author, Diana Rogers. That's her name. She said that she won't eat lab meat, and there is little to no nutritional information available about it. And on the next screen, she also urges that the best type of meat comes from farms where animals are allowed to graze and raise outside of the industrial food system, where animals are brought up in over cramped conditions and pumped full of hormones. She's a critic of alternative meat sources such as plant-based meats as well. Cell cultivated meat is expensive. Rogers pointed out, and a pound of cell cultured meat would cost about $17 to make, compared to $2 for regular meat, according to Bon Appetit. By the time lab grown meat gets onto a plate at a restaurant, it could turn into a $100 burger. Also, so I'm going to talk about how the meat is created. The meat is created from live stem cells taken from muscles of the skin of real live animals, which are then cultivated in a biocreator, a process which emulates conditions in the animal's body and feeds the cells nutrients in order to grow the meat. But the process leaves a bad taste in professionals' mouths. So this is also a former Thomas Lockett. He's located in North. His farm is located in north of Dallas, and he discusses the reason why he does not agree with cultivated meat as well. In his own words, the answer is not going to be found by making fake meat in a vat. It's going to be found by re-embracing the law of nature. He also states that there is so much money to be made in fake meat, the Texas farmer said. Silicon Valley and venture capitalists have invested billions of dollars in this. They are not doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They're doing it because they're planning on making so much money off of it. And last but not least, I have one more video that actually shows how fake meat is made.
High-tech 3D printing. This kind of beef not only looks no different from real beef, but also tastes and textures are similar to real beef, even more fragrant. This kind of technology beef sounds unbelievable. How do they do it? We all know that beef consists of white fat and red muscle. Technology beef is the use of technology to reconstruct them both, Scientists will first extract bovine stem cells from cattle and then put the stem cells into a Petri dish. The Petri dish is a magic tool for artificial technology to mimic the environment of the cow's body. Here the bovine stem cells will feel like they are still in the bovine body. So the bovine stem cells will keep dividing and growing in the Petri dish. After the stem cells have divided enough, the scientists will make the stem cells into something called bioink. Bioink is divided into two kinds, one for printing beef white fat, one for printing beef red muscle, Next, the shape, size and grain to be printed are designed in the computer. And once set, the 3D printer will print out a piece of beef appearing according to the program set 1.1. In order to ensure that the printed bovine stem cells are still alive, the whole printing process should be carried out in a sterile environment. The printed beef is then placed in an incubation chamber to allow it to continue growing. This way, after a few weeks of growth, it will form muscle fibers and fat tissue like real beef, so that a piece of technological beef that you can hardly distinguish from the real one is made. However, due to the current cost of this 3D printed beef, then the real beef is expensive to popularize. There is still a way to go. When the time comes, if it really popular, you will support this kind of beef.
And there you have it. And you wonder where all this cancer and sickness and disease is coming from. We don't know where we're getting our meat. And if we're getting it from the natural way, they're full of infections and just sickness and disease. So my best advice is try to shop organically, look at your labels, see if it's cage free, and see if you can possibly, if you can, go vegan. I'm not vegan yet, but I try to limit my meat intake, like with seafood, and I eat a wing here and there, but I'm not with a lot of meat like I used to. Not a lot of.
Yeah. And you know, Cheryl Faith from Facebook said, to be honest, we really need to eat fruits and vegetables, cut down on the meat.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And and guess what though, with the fruits and vegetables, they're lab grown as well. So just watch and pray.
Yeah.
Ask God to order your steps. You don't even really know what to eat now.
Yeah.
You can't
Nowadays. Crazy.
Yeah. So
We
that's all
appreciate you first. We appreciate you, First Nurse Kimberly Reese. Always dropping the jewels for us. Y'all, please take heed and if you got to get your pen and pad and write this down, what she be dropping and giving us. And it'll really help us. It might expand your life some years. So please take this serious, because that's one of the things we don't take serious in our community is our health until it's too late. So yeah, take that serious. So don't go nowhere. Me and Alan will be right back. We got a couple of topics we're going to discuss. We'll be right back here on the Lineage Podcast.
Form the front line that march. To my left, march Jose Williams holding his daughter. I march next to him. Mrs. King march next to me. Dr. King march next to her. Dr. Ralph Bunch, the first African-American Nobel Peace Prize winner, marched next to him. To his right, marched Mrs. Abernathy. To her right, marched her husband, Ralph Abernathy. To his right, marched John Lewis. To his right, marched A. Philip Randall. And then to his right, marched Rosa Parks. That's the front line vet march, moving down Dexter Avenue in Montgomery, on the way to the Capitol, to hear Dr. King make that speech there. And I had a feeling of great triumph and victory.
In my younger years, there wasn't much that I can smile about, but there is nothing I would change. And as I today. Oh yeah, yeah. Selma to Montgomery, we are on.
Welcome back to the Lineage Podcast. We are back. Appreciate everybody joining in. Appreciate the comment, share, faith. I agree with that. We gotta eat our fruits and vegetables. We really do. Cut down on the meat. So I 100% agree with that. We appreciate y'all joining us. Any comments, please join in. Don't be shy. Don't be scared. One day we're going to get a phone line. We're really going to go up, really going to turn up then. We get a phone line to get people calling in. We used to do that when we first started the podcast. We had to adjust some things to make it more, a little bit easier on me and bro. But yeah, once again, we appreciate y'all joining us, and book a tour, get a book, get a shirt. Y'all know what time it is. It was a great event in Selma over the weekend at the Live Amphitheater in Selma, Alabama. Shout out to Justin Perkins and Pierre performing, and a lot of good performers. And I must say, even though Selma is a city that the population is decreasing, they are trying to bring it back up and keep things live and keep things going in the city of Selma. So we appreciate that. Really appreciate that. But let's get on some topics we discussed. The topic, the title of today's show is Punishment of Color. Basically asking, do we get the same punishment as our other brothers or sisters of a different race when it comes to certain crimes and when it comes to certain crimes done to us? But before we go there, let's talk about what number was president was he? Was he the 45th? The 45th president of the United States, none other than Mr. Donald Trump himself. He's been indicted. I don't know how many charges is it, bro.
I can't count.
Yeah, I can't count.
They pulling them everywhere. New York, Florida, Georgia next.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll ask you this. What do you think is going to be? Because that's pretty much what it is. What's going to be the outcome of it?
Man, what I think they're trying to keep him from running for president.
You think that's the main goal?
That's the main goal. I don't think that they will put him in jail. But I think they trying to keep him from running. But what you look at it, he is the front runner for the Republican Party.
Correct.
In 2024. So, I don't know how successful they're going to be. I think Donald Trump, he's praying to win the presidency,
Okay.
And win the presidency, I'm sure he probably can pardon himself of some of the federal charges, but I don't think he can pardon himself from the state charge that's coming up. But he probably make some deals, man. Either way it go, I don't think we'll see Donald Trump in jail.
Or you don't think we'll see him behind the cell, pretty much?
No, we won't. That's guaranteed.
What if he don't get elected?
Still don't think we'll see him in jail. No.
Okay.
I think two things, bro. He's a white man in America. He's a conservative white man in America, and he has the descendants of the Confederacies behind him.
That's true.
And one thing about those individuals, man, they don't mind. You saw what they did January 6th. They don't mind doing some things to have his back, to be radical. You know what I'm saying? And that's just who he has behind him. I think if they try to put Donald Trump in jail, they'll really have some type of problems out there on those streets. Now I do believe this. If Donald Trump was a black man, if he was Barack Obama, I think we may be seeing the first president ever locked up in jail, because I don't believe.
Wait. I want to answer you. I want to get your clear stance on that statement. You saying if Barack Obama was in office, when January the 6th happened and when if he was indicted on these same charges.
Oh yeah, he be getting ready to go to jail.
Jail.
Yeah, I believe this, MJ, and I don't care who disagrees with me on this. First of all, let's be honest. If January the 6th was black folks, it'll be a lot more people dead that day. There's no way black people would have made it to the Capitol, inside the Capitol, in the chambers.
Yeah.
On the Speaker of the House office, sitting on her office and all that. Black
feet on the desk.
In America.
Right.
That day. And think that it would have been some folks dead and some people in jail for a long time. Now, they got some folks in jail, but they not getting sick like if it was black folks. And I don't care who disagree with me. I know people say the race card. In America, it's true. Some things is race related, and this is one of them. And the reason Donald Trump is able to do what he's able to do is because he is a white man. It's no way Barack Obama could have had all the scandals and everything going on in the White House. Even though I believe Barack, everything he did as president, I don't agree with him. But facts are, if he was Donald Trump, everything, all the scandals.
Yes, sir.
Man, they would have impeached him, and it would have been a bipartisan, both parties. And they would have impeached him and removed him from office, MJ.
Oh, you said it would have been bipartisan, so it would have been Democratic
and Republican.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I believe it, and that's the truth. And because one thing about, at the end of the day, they tend to have each other's back. You know what I'm saying? They would have made sure they let Barack Obama know who's boss.
Right.
And the reason they letting Trump get away with the things they letting him get away with, because they know the children of the Confederacy will rise up. They don't mind. History shows you white folks, so a lot of white people don't mind dying for what they believe in. They don't. We just like killing each other through gangster rap.
Right.
MJ, that's the truth. We'll kill each other. We'll go to each other's hood blocks, and nobody owns the hood, but we'll go and set up shop and we'll kill each other. But and that means nothing but some street cred. You get what I'm saying? But history shows that if you go back to slavery, they didn't mind coming over there getting us, putting us in slavery. They ain't mind killing us, hanging up some trees, didn't mind creating Jim Crow, didn't mind burning up Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, Florida, New Orleans, Atlanta. I can go Arkansas. I can go on and on and on about the different massacres around the world that a lot of mad white folks was mad at black people. They don't mind killing us.
Right.
And they don't mind dying themselves or something they believe in.
Facts. Shell Face said, absolutely. I agree 100%.
So yeah, if Donald Trump gets away with what he gets away with because he's a white Republican.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Simple as
that.
That's
facts. I'm gonna have to say I agree with it. I 100% agree with it. And a lot of people, like even when you brought up, you said, why do you always play the race card? Well, the race card is gonna have to stop getting played when the race card is not being played.
And that's never gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen, bro. We can go all the way back. We can go back. I mean, it's Emmett Till and how many examples do we need?
And I'm not saying everything is about race. You can't blame the white man for everything.
No, sir.
I can't get a job. I blame the white man. I can't do this in life. No. I'm not gonna let you use that excuse. But situations like Donald Trump,
yes, sir.
Situations like this,
right, sir.
It's because Donald Trump is a white Republican in America.
Correct.
And if it was black people that had that face that Donald Trump has, it'd be a lot of dead black people, and he would be in jail. Barack Obama would be in handcuffs right now, and they would be saying, we're trying to show you who's boss. Simple as that. But they know if they lock Donald Trump up, you think January 6th was bad, you're going to have situations around here.
Amen.
You're gonna have people put flesh on bones to come out the woods like they did to vote him in office, and they're gonna come show you something.
Facts.
That's just facts. But the reason they don't take us serious, because our approach is not in that manner. And a lot of times our approach can't be in that manner because guess what? if black folks, and this the truth, if black folks would have done what they did January the 6th, we got to fight too. We got to fight the police, and we got to go fight those people who saying America is being attacked.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see black folks get arms and go protect the Capitol, the White House when they were doing all that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Saying
Right.
America is being attacked. No, you didn't see that. Because we like, hey, they just out there acting a fool. But if we were black, you would see everybody would have deputized themselves to come take care of us.
100%.
And if you're a white man or a white person, or anybody who disagree with me saying this, you need to search in your heart and understand what's the truth about America. That's just what it is. If black folks would have done what white folks did January the 6th, what was that, 2020? 2020, we would have had to fight the police and the deputies and the security, whatever's up there, and we would have to fight the white folks who would have went inside their sheds and got their guns and said they need to come downtown Washington to the Capitol to protect America. That's exactly what would have happened if it was black folks.
Of course. Sheriff Faye said, because we are automatically seen as aggressive, so the response will be different. 100%.
Yeah, we are. And it's a shame,
We're seen
man.
as aggressive.
We on aggressive against our own kind. I ain't never seen, and I like to tell the truth on the podcast. I know sometimes I might be a little harsh. But
radical.
But MJ, they say we're aggressive, but I've never seen a book and open a book where you've seen hundreds of white folks hanging from trees.
Right.
You know that? I've
Right.
never seen in a history book where you've seen hundreds of black people bear arms and go into a white neighborhood and have a massacre because a white man whistled at a black woman. I ain't never seen that. But we the aggressive one. Somehow the aggressive one. Somehow. Come on, man. Come on,
Don't make
MJ.
no sense, bro. It
Come on.
don't make sense.
Don't make
100%.
no
How ironic we are the aggressive one. You know it's done by design. Remember they used to put the black face on the cartoon.
Oh yeah.
It was done. They realized that they were the villain, and they knew that this day would come if they kept going. Then history would show who is really the aggressor. So what do you have to do? You have to villainize someone else and paint the picture. So it's done by design.
And now you got the idiot out there. And sometimes, I want to be on his side, but then he do stupid stuff. The governor of Florida.
Of Florida, man.
He's an idiot. I'm like,
This guy.
Myself, what in the world are you thinking? Now you want to say that black folks benefited from slavery. See, this is why you have the ignorant generations that you have, because you have governors and people in power like this, and we allow for them to just say anything. Now, I understand what he was trying to do with Disney World. I understand that.
Hey, I would kind of with him on that though.
I understand what he was trying to do with Disney World. I can't be mad at him on that. He said, y'all not going to continue to weaponize this.
Correct.
Okay, but guess what? Black folks way in America and outlook on America is different than the LGBTQ.
100%, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Your
100%.
fight with us is different than they fight with them. You shouldn't have a fight with us because what happened with us is just truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just truth. We were enslaved here in America. We were imports and goods. We are not immigrants. Those things are true. If you have any type of education from the public school system and you understand immigrants and goods and imports and goods, you'll know that on the top of your head that black folks were sold. They were put out to buy and they were sold. That's what we do with imports and goods, cars, fruit, rice.
Right.
That's what we were.
Yeah, we didn't migrate over here.
We didn't migrate over here because we felt like that our country wasn't good enough and we need to go to a better place and we can't be on our own will. That's simple. So he's in that aspect, he's ignorant. You know what I'm saying? And see, but
saying facts.
So I just think, and I really, and then you got people like Joe Biden. You know,
Sleep it, God.
you know, Joe Biden, you know, I ain't saying he terrible in office, but you know, when he said if you ain't black, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Yeah.
Joe Biden,
Yeah.
where is our crime bill?
I tell you one thing, I might well bleach my skin next time he run. If he ain't talking about if he ain't talking about specifically for black and nothing.
I'm not talking about, and see what we as black people, we get caught up in this aspect. We get caught up, well, he's passing laws that benefit black people. We just understand how it works. No, we want to see some when black folks get beat up and stuff specifically because they're black, or killed because they are black. We want people to be charged for that. I don't want you to do things and I got to go through all this paperwork and go through this quest,
right,
to understand that you're doing something that's benefiting me. No,
right.
I need for you to specifically say it like you did it for Asian Americans.
Yeah, because some people will say, well, you know, teen pregnancy is going down. That infects, you know, that affects black people.
That's
and
right.
That and the third. You know, I get that. I get that. But everyone else is benefiting from teen pregnancy going down and an Asian hate crime.
That's right. That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So
That's right. It's just like Mitch McConnell them talking about, Barack Obama becoming the first black president was reparation, and also and a lot of people who, and they don't argue with me on Facebook no more. They don't come out the woodworks fussing with me because they used to say, well, y'all got y'all reparations through voting. Well, everybody votes. That's as an American citizen, I should be able to vote.
Right.
What is that aside from what you getting?
Yeah, exactly.
You know
Mitch paused though in his last speech. They need to look at Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
They need to really take a look at Mitch. Mitch getting too old, and that's, we always talked about that. These cat, man, it need to be an age limit on these things, bro.
Scared when they want to die in office.
Right.
Man.
Before we go to the next subject, I got that picture you want me to upload. Did you want me to go ahead and put it up?
Yeah, you can post that, man. I'm in Selma, Alabama this weekend. I will be on the panel this week. There's gonna be at Wallace University. So if you want to come up, I think one of the topics of why should we preserve our history, talk about our history. So make sure you come up to Wallace and be a part of this. Be a part.
Yeah. I'll be there. I'll be in the building. And I'll be recording. I got to be in the building for this panel. It's gonna be a very interesting.
And when you invite me, I don't hold no punches, man.
I know.
I don't care who in the room. We're gonna walk on the truth now.
Yeah, there you go.
And the truth. The truth might be hurting. It might make people's ears itch, or it might make you feel a certain type of way. But we'll just do what the pastor say in church. If you feel a certain type of way, it might be that you need to change the way you feel. Let it resonate in your heart and let it change you for the better.
You went to church pass away. I'm gonna go to drink way. We and everything in between. The truth sometimes is like when you take that shot of Hennessy and it burn your chest.
Yeah.
It may not be good to the body going down, but sometimes it needed. So you need your chest to burn when you're hitting the Hennessy and the tequila. So that's how I look at it.
And that's how I feel like some people feel about us talking junk about. I ain't gonna say talking junk. I'm gonna put some respect on my grandfather's name. The way we talk about our grandfather's legacy. I noticed that when we talk about FD legacy, people try to tend to kind of talk about, well, the time before FD became president, the time after, they kind of want to kind of put salt and sugar and dilute what FD has done. I would say this: have you ever thought about, for all the years the Reese family ears, we had to sit through our ears burning, burning, LJ. We know the truth. And now that we start talking, you never had all these years, no one has ever come out and talk about the contributions FD Reese has ever done, like how we talk. But all these years, and I'm talking to everybody, I don't care who's listening, share it to the people who might feel a certain type of way and tell them come holler at me. I'm always available. But now that we starting to talk, now you feel a certain type of way, but they were able to share what they want to share for all these years. And now we come up with a shebang. Now we want to talk about what happened in 19 30, 20, 40, 50, 60. And I tell people it is nothing wrong. We have to know the full history.
Mhm.
But I would say this right here. It's levels to it. MJ. And my stance with and I say this, and I'm not apologetic about this. It is facts. In Selma, the voting rights movement supposed to go through Mississippi. It didn't work. It's supposed to go through Albany, Georgia. It didn't work. Selma wasn't ready in the 1920s and 30s and 40s and 50s because the foundation wasn't there. You get what I'm saying? It took almost 10 years of work before Dr. King came to Selma to build a foundation. But what is facts? When this guy called F.D. Reese, Frederick Douglass Reese Sr., became the president of Dallas County Voters League, the Dallas County Voters League only had 100 members. It was more people registered to vote in Selma, more black people in Selma was registered to vote than members of the Dallas County Voters League, because 300 and some was registered to vote.
Out of 15,000.
Out of 15,000, I'm giving facts. In the Dallas County Voters League only had 100 members. Look,
yes,
facts. But until this guy called Frederick Douglass Reese Sr. became president of Dallas County Voters League, the Dallas County Voters League grew from 100 to 2,000 members. So you tell me who got the work. You tell me what's the levels of it. And so when I say these things, I want people to think. Don't let it hurt your feelings. Just walk in the truth like I'm doing.
Right.
I just so happen to be his grandson.
That's right.
The truth of the matter is that the movement swelled after the Teachers March.
Point blank.
He held the leaders of the community to a higher standard. Those are facts. Now, let's do this. Let's take F.D. Reese works out of the Selma movement. Where is Selma? I asked you that question. Take him going against Selma, inviting Dr. King. Take him from say he don't convince Dr. Lafayette to come to Selma.
Amen.
Take him leading the Teachers March out of it. Take him losing his job out of it. Take F.D. Reese out of Selma. Where is Selma? You don't have the Jubilee. Huh?
Brown Chapel.
You don't have the significance of the Edmonds Pettus Bridge without F.D. Reese. I'm saying let's stand on it. Let's take everything F.D. Reese did in the movement. Let's take it out and leave everybody else's story in it and see where we stand.
Hey, what Jay-Z say? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Numbers don't lie. So what is facts is this just facts, MJ. Is that when you put F.D. Reese legacy, who was born in Selma, the Moses of Selma, you can call him Moses, you can call him Joshua, you can call him whoever you want to call him. Pick one out the Bible. You can call him Jehoshaphat, you can call him David, you can call him anybody. Pick one. Put his legacy in Selma and take everybody else out. What you got? Because what a lot of people don't realize, the same people who disagree with a lot of stuff they're doing for F.D. Reese or what's going on, your grandparents and parents disagree with Dr. King coming to Selma.
100%.
So what I'm saying is, I know we went another way, MJ.
Hey, come on,
what
man.
I'm saying is, it's
like always the good way.
I like for people to think. My auntie Valley gave me one thing one day as minister of music. One day she said, Alan, don't tell people to stand up. Don't give them direction. What you do, you let them think for themselves. She said, what you say is, if the president of the United States walk in this room, you're going to stand. So why you can't stand for the Lord of Lords and King of Kings?
Facts.
Those were facts. So now what I'm doing, since I'm breaking things down for you, think for yourself. That's why I stand on it. If it was not for F.D. Reese, you would not have the 1965 Voting Rights Act go through Selma, Alabama. If it wasn't for F.D. Reese, the Edmonds Pettus Bridge would not have one of the most prestigious marches of a world heritage march that it has today. If it wasn't for F.D. Reese, you would not have the Jubilee in Selma every year where everybody come to Selma and talk and say what they want to say. If it was not for F.D. Reese, where would Selma stand on in the voting rights movement if it weren't for F.D.? Now I don't mind saying that anywhere I go.
Yeah. We can't. You know, we talked about that. Yeah, we talked about this briefly after the call we was on. You know, and I kind of shared my thoughts after the call with Charlene. I'm like, look, some things, and let me say this: when we talk about our grandfather, we're not omitting any other.
That's right, bro. We're not. But if we want to put it all down and write it on the paper, put a timeline on this thing, and let's put some names with it, then what it's going to be. Some things, everything should be mentioned. Mm-hmm.
Some things should be highlighted.
That's right.
It's a difference.
He the highlight, man.
It's a big difference, dog.
He the
it's
highlight.
A big difference. And when you trying to mention FD
mm-hmm.
and ride on by it, hold on, whoa. See, and let's keep it 1,000, man. Our grandfather was so humble
mm-hmm.
that the same city he put on his back turned their back on him for heading the charge to invite Dr. King.
Mm-hmm.
Then they turned their back on him when his plan worked,
mm-hmm.
and when it came time for him to get the recognition.
They turned back on. Then they got senile. What you call?
They got senile.
Yeah, they did. Then you don't know what happened. Dr. King just showed up.
Yeah.
Dr. King be very disappointed in today.
He will.
You know, even though him and FD had some disagreements.
Right.
I don't mind talking about that either. The disagreements of incorporating up on the SCLC, even though they had disagreements. Mm-hmm. But if Dr. King was alive today, or if Dr. King would have lived longer to be able to see the Jubilee and the different things that's going on with the history of Selma, if he wouldn't have got murdered. Yeah, mm-hmm. I don't say he died. I say he got murdered, assassinated.
Mm-hmm. Assassinated, that's right.
He would be very disappointed how history has done FD Reese when it comes to the voting rights movement.
Correct.
I'm out of Selma, Alabama. I believe that, bro.
100%. I believe that in my heart, dog.
You know, and so that's just the truth, man. And it's a new day and age, man. You know, and like I said, we don't admit Mr. Doyle, Mr. Gildersleeve, Mr. Shannon, Amelia Boynton, Marie Foster, Reverend Hunt. We don't omit, but what is facts? When that man, they're educated, mm-hmm. got the reins of that Dallas County Voters League.
Come on, man.
It took it to another height it had never seen before, MJ. That was a fact.
Understand this too, and Miss Joanne Bland. See, it's a lot of people we're not gonna forget, right?
Yeah,
they should be mentioned because listen, I am honored to be in the room with those people.
That's right.
You know, they put their life on the line. But think about this, bro. I want you to understand how much about the cause Granddaddy was about. Martin Luther King came to Selma January 2nd, 1965.
Mm-hmm.
20 days later, Granddaddy still did the Teachers March. So I want people to understand. Most people, they would have invited Dr. King. Dr. King would have came. Well, there it is.
There you go.
We got Dr. King here.
Mm-hmm.
Over with.
Yeah.
He said, nope, I'm keep moving. Still more agenda.
Dr. King told them not to march on Bloody Sunday. FD said we're 600 strong, we still moving forward. The only reason why John Lewis and well, I always say Hosea Williams was the leader of that march, and people need to know that. And so many of the civil rights leaders have been quiet about that. Because Hosea Williams was in charge of the logistics of that movement. Now, how they decided who got on the front line of that march, they pulled straws.
See, a lot of people don't know. See, this is why you got to come on this tour.
You got to come to the tour, man. I'm trying to tell you.
This is why you got to come on this tour, man. We break everything down. People don't like people. Another thing we got to break. You think Martin Luther King, he set foot in Selma January 2nd, and they will march across the bridge successfully March the 21st. If anybody can get something done in 60 days like that, Jesus couldn't get it done in 60 days like that, right? Jesus had to come and convince everybody, right? So if people think Martin Luther King was the Messiah of Selma, he just set foot in there and everything started moving. Like you said, bro, it was almost 10 years of work.
10 years of work.
Put in there. It was 56, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
That was put in work before Dr. King got there. And it was work being put in before our grandfather became president.
That's right.
It just so happened that once he became president and under his leadership,
It grew.
it took off.
So now why not highlight that?
Right.
Huh?
Right.
Why not highlight under FD Reed's leadership? It went to heights that we've never seen before.
Right.
Why, if you understood who FD Reed was, this is why it went to
Right.
heights they never seen before.
Right.
And that's just the truth, MJ. And we got to continue to stand strong on that. I don't care how many people get tired of us saying it,
Don't care.
but we just got to continue to stand on it because it's the truth. You know, it's a new day and age, and I'll tell you this: the reason why Dr. King had to come, because what they were doing wasn't working, and my grandfather realized that. How many people on this live who watching this video has done something that you said, you know what, I've been doing this for a while, it's just not working. I got to switch it up. That's what FD Reese understood. He understood taking the voting rights test, the literacy test, was not working because white supremacy was changing it, just because it's different rules for different color of people. Simple as that. And so FD understood that. He said, you know what, that guy who got 10 million followers on Instagram, man, I got to invite him because he gonna bring the cameras with him, and he gonna project around the world, around the nation, what's going on in Selma. Smart move. Even though you got country folks in Selma who didn't have that type of insight or foresight, we don't want Dr. King here. He gonna be bad for the city.
Troublemaker.
He gonna be a troublemaker. We don't want him here. Yeah, man, folks saying that. And FD was like, hold on, I got this. And he went against him, and all the people that was with him was who was really with him, the Dallas County Voters League, the Courageous Eight, the board of directors who was with him. Everybody else was against him. Even Snick, John Lewis, and all of them was against Dr. King coming to Selma, Alabama.
That's right.
Because they wanted to keep doing what they were doing, but it was not working, MJ.
Then think about it. Martin Luther King wanted him to incorporate the Dallas County Voters League under the SCLC, and the same people that probably booed Granddaddy, he once again had their back. He had the Dallas County Voters League back.
Yeah, he said, "No, I ain't doing that.
Not doing it. Our league is older than yours."
He told, you know, it was a paper, man, I read that even it was a lot of people that said that, you know, FD Reese, he what they say, he was always starting trouble, but he's one of the only ones who ever told Dr. King no.
Yeah.
You know, but that's just who he was, man. You know, he gonna be right about everything. You know? But I'm just telling you, when we talk the history, and just because I'm young, y'all gotta understand this. You know, a lot of people walk in the room, you know, I know they say, well, you 30 some years, you almost 40, you weren't here. Y'all gotta remember, I had my granddad top for 33 years old. It's not like granddaddy died when I was a little boy. My granddaddy saw me get married, preach my own sermon, Christian my kids, get licensed and ordained as a minister. We had conversation. So it's not like I don't know what I'm talking about. You know, a lot of the stuff I talk about, it came from the horse's mouth.
and understand this, we've been preaching this going on 6 years strong.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of practice learning these facts, and we still find out stuff and we implement it. So, and I'm gonna say this: our grandfather was humble and nice, and for lack of better words, let people take the shine because he didn't care. But his grandsons is not going to let that happen again.
But MJ, it's always like that. It wasn't his job to say what he did.
Right.
It was his job. His purpose was to do the work. It was his grandson's. It's his grandson's job to do this.
That's right.
Because we in the time, remember I said, Granddad always said, and I got this. It take three things to happen. Three things has to happen for things to manifest. God, like he said, God had me at the right place, the right time,
right commitment.
With the right commitment. And right now we are in the right time.
Right.
We are in the right place, and we have the right commitment.
Right commitment. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so this is our purpose.
That's
so
right.
You know, that's just what it is, man.
Yeah, that's fact. That's fact. Now listen, y'all. Breaking news. We are going on for lack of better words, a library tour. We're going to go around to different libraries. Y'all know we definitely going to keep the Lineage Podcast family abreast to everything that's going on. We're going to go around to different libraries and put on somewhat of small events, knowledgeable events. So the knowledge that we present in the tours in Selma, we're giving people the opportunity to come out and get that same knowledge and put these puzzle pieces together. In here in Georgia. So our first library, we're trying to do it in September. So we'll keep y'all posted with that. So then when February come around and some of your kids got to do that history project, and then when you want to do it on FD Reese, gonna get an A+, because they in the information section, they are going to be well equipped. Well equipped. And they're gonna be started class then, because they're gonna have some information that no one knows, and it's not in the history book. So look out for we don't have a name for it yet, but we still in the planning stages. But yes, we're going to different libraries here in Georgia. We're gonna partner up with some libraries, the Frederick D. Reese Foundation. We're partnering up with some libraries, and we're bringing a few artifacts, original artifacts from the 1965 voter rights movement. So y'all don't want to miss it. Trust.
All teachers, all principals, all pastors, all politicians, everybody. It don't matter. Come on out, man. You're gonna learn something.
Yeah, come learn something. Come learn something. What it is. So y'all know we out of time. We appreciate everybody that's been on and coming and tuning in. We really appreciate y'all. We don't take it lightly. Y'all.
We don't, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate the people who come every Thursday.
Yes,
to us run our mouth.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
And we know Grandma, one of them.
Yeah, I know she's watching right now. She's gonna call us when the show over.
She's gonna call it. Grandma had me cracking up. What was that? 3 days ago. She said, "Now make sure you stay doing right, MJ. You stay doing right, so Grandma won't have to get wrong." You better stay right, or Grandma gonna get wrong.
You don't want Grandma to get wrong.
Hey, Grandma, you ain't got to worry about that. I ain't gonna give you no reason to get wrong, so we good. But yeah. I'm blessed to still have our grandmother.
Yeah, man.
92. Making jokes. 92, yeah. So we love it. So we appreciate y'all joining us. We're gonna keep y'all posted on everything we got going on. Please, if you're in the Selma area, please come out to the panel. Let me post it one more time. It is gonna be at 2:00. Is that right?
Yeah, that's when the screening starts. They're gonna show us our movie.
Okay.
And then they're gonna have a panel afterwards.
With a panel. So y'all show up. It's the 8 oral histories of student risking everything to secure the right to vote.
There you go.
And it's coming. They got free food. Students of the movement, the Voting Rights Movement Education Project. It's gonna be at Wallace Community College. Y'all know, if y'all in Selma, y'all know what Wallace said. You can't miss it. Community College Selma Theater, located at 3000 Earl Goodwin Parkway, Selma, Alabama 36701. So y'all come out. If you are in the area, we'll be there. And come and get some knowledge. Listen to some panels. I like these panels. We can hear different perspectives and try to come up with a common goal, a common action plan to keep us moving forward. So it's very needed. It's very helpful for our community. So we have said all the announcements. We will see y'all next Thursday. Y'all know I got to leave with FD quote. If you're going through something, Granddaddy always say, after every night, there comes a day.
Ain't never
seen it fail yet.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So we'll see y'all next Thursday.